This is a Willets Point Shea Stadium bound 7 express train. The next and last stop is Willets Point, Shea Stadium.
I want to get into real quick with you, Justin Turner. And according to Mike Puma of the New York Post, the Mets are engaged in talks with Turner. I wouldn't bring him in here to be a third baseman. He's north of 39 years old now. But to be a DH, maybe spell a little bit of third base and kind of help bring Beatty to where he has to be, or whether they even go to Mark Vientos, who's kind of went to Lindor for lessons on fielding and defense. I think he was used perfectly in Boston last year. You look at his stats with Boston, 276 average, 23 home runs, 96 RBIs, 800 OPS in 146 games. I would have given anything to see that at DH last season. Should the Mets bring Justin Turner back home to Citi Field?
Yes. Once Mauricio got hurt, which was devastating. Once Mauricio got hurt, I mean, he really was the first guy that a lot of people, I'm not just the only, I'm not going to say I thought of. I think a lot of people right away went to Turner because of the fact that he played here before, that he's shown that he could play, at a high level as not a regular. He'll still get a ton of at-bats. He's obviously a guy that knows how to perform in New York. He knows how to play, winning baseball. He's a good guy in the clubhouse. He's definitely not a guy that you're going to have to worry about, acclimating to New York. And the other thing too is that when the Mets signed Tommy Pham last year, I don't know if you remember, but the response was, the Tommy Pham, this guy's, he's a bad guy with the Jock Peterson fantasy football thing and this and that. And I said, Tommy Pham is a guy, I've seen him kill the Mets. I don't know how many times I've seen that guy come up and get a big hit in a big spot and kill the Mets. I said, look, he's going to be a fourth outfielder. He's going to play a little bit. He'll DH some. He's a good guy. He's got some fire. And I like that. I like aggressive ball players. And, with the Marte injury and inconsistency, he wound up being an everyday player, which also screwed up the Mets outfield because instead of Tommy Pham being a guy that could spell Brandon Nimmo, and give him some days off because the guy destroys himself, playing 150%. Tommy Pham had to be a starter, and he was, I think, the Mets' best hitter outside of Pete Alonso for the much of the first half of the season. So, not that I expect Justin Turner to be that player, but there's nothing wrong with bringing in solid vets who can play an important position. Obviously he'll be a good mentor for Brett Beatty or Vientos or whoever plays that position. Obviously having a guy like that on the bench is going to be helpful for a rookie manager who's managing for the first time. And, I honestly think it's a no-brainer for the Mets. But, the fact that they had to think about that, I really think they wanted to go internally at third base, and to add that to the to-do list when they have so many other things that they need to fill. We still don't know if Marte is going to be healthy. And we probably might not know that until spring training. And what if he goes down in spring training? What are the Mets going to do at that point? Then they're going to be held up to get another outfielder. Or maybe Vientos goes to the outfield, or maybe Brett Beatty goes to the outfield. It's a very, very, and I keep talking about this on every podcast that I've done. Marte is a big question point, a big question mark that people are not talking about, Anthony.
Oh, yeah.
He was so vital to what they did in 2022. And, his basically he was an invisible man last year. And I know it was because he was hurt, but they have him signed for 2 more years at good money. So figuring out the Marte question hopefully is going to make all these other decisions kind of, work themselves out.